Yes, indeed. What's happening, world? B Marsh Boxing back at it, March 31st, Tuesday morning. Back at it with another boxing video. So, Amir Khan and Froch, two popular fighters from England in the last, I don't know, in the last 13 years or so. Amir Khan maybe a little longer because, he came out the 2004 Olympics in Athens, Greece. Came up out of there with the gold, what is it, a silver medal, you know what I mean? So he's been a popular since he was an amateur in England, you know what I mean? Had a good career, there's plenty of amateurs who don't ever who win gold medals, who never even reach a status or eclipse anything like Amir Khan has, you know what I mean? For example, look at the Brazilian guy, Robinson Cancelo or Cancelo or something from Brazil, 2006, gold medalist. I watched the guy. The guy's been a pro with top rank since 2016. How many of you guys heard of him? How many of you guys how many of you guys have even seen Robinson Cancelo or Cancesius? It's hard to pronounce his last name from Brazil. How many times have you guys seen him fight? You know what I mean? You could win a gold medal, but that ain't gonna transfer you to being have a great career or be a world champion in the pro ranks. Look at Anthony Ogogo from England. You know what I mean? But Amir Khan, he's popular. You know what I'm saying? Hasn't been a world champion since 2012. That was 8 years ago. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? He still is somebody that can pull rank over there in England as far as the boxing scene is concerned. You know what I mean? But Amir Khan and Carl Froch, former super middleweight champion, you know what I mean? WBC, IBF, regular WBA title, champion, and the Reggie title. They both pick Tyson Fury to beat Anthony Joshua. You know what I mean? Now, I personally, my opinion, I also picked Tyson Fury. After Tyson Fury, what he did to Deontay Wilder, there's no doubt in my mind that he's the best heavyweight on the planet right now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? By in 2015, opening up the floodgates and giving all heavyweights out there an opportunity to challenge for world titles. When he beat Vladimir Klitschko, then dropped the titles, got vacated, got stripped of the IBF, then had to vacate his WBO and WBA. Never defended his titles in the ring. You know what I'm saying? He might do the same thing right about now with this WBC, and he's a two-time lineal and Ring Magazine champion. You know what I mean? I think it's fair to say that he is the best heavyweight on the planet, and a fight with him and Anthony Joshua will be massive in England. I'm not too sure if it will be massive worldwide. I'm pretty sure the eyes will be watching, like how we watched Anthony Joshua versus Klitschko, but I doubt it could be a mega event worldwide like how Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder was. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, Amir Khan has some thoughts about whether why he thinks Anthony Joshua loses to the man Tyson Fury. You know what I mean? And I echo his sentiments. As a matter of fact, let me get into it. Let me read you some quotes. What the man says. Okie doke. Quote, my opinions. I'm sorry, excuse me. Quote, my opinion, and I've always said that Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight in the division. With the skill set he has got, he beats anyone with power. What he did to Wilder, no one would expect that. If that same Fury goes into a fight with Anthony Joshua, it's always going to be Fury that wins that. I still favor him if he gets that fight, and I think it'll be an easy win for him. I feel AJ is more of a robotic style, similar to a Frank Bruno style, and he is very strong. If AJ catches you, then he's going to hurt you. But we have seen Fury being hit with the hardest hitter, Wilder, being put down and he got back up. all day going into that fight, Fury wins. I think he has got everything on his side. End quote. Words from the man Amir Khan. Now let's see what he's talking about. I think Anthony Joshua is Frank Bruno. I don't think he fights as good as Frank Bruno as far as the jab. Frank Bruno had a very good jab. You know what I mean? Um, Robotic style. Both guys are Frank Bruno and Anthony Joshua, two muscle bound guys. You know what I mean? Guys who probably, from the looks of it, might spend more time in the weight room than they do inside the ring. You know what I mean? To be honest, when you're a big muscle bound guy like that, from what I've been since I've been watching boxing, guys like Tommy Morrison, all these guys go down easily. You know what I mean? It's something about having that kind of muscle mass that kind of stops the oxygen from going up to the brain that leaves an opponent, struggling to keep his head high. And as far as we know, when they get dropped, they go down easy like a ton of bricks. I mean, look how what's his name? Andy Ruiz was mollywhopping Anthony Joshua all around the ring on June 1st, you know what I'm saying, of last year, in that massive upset. You know what I mean? Frank Bruno's another guy. He was winning that fight versus James Bone Crusher Smith. James Bone Crusher Smith eventually became a world champion, but he had like 4 or 5 losses when he finally became a world champion. I mean, when he beat it's a guy from Philly, man, with that vicious defense, crossface defense, Tim Witherspoon. You check it. So to be honest, uh, Frank Bruno was beating James Bone Crusher Smith, and he got caught. And the way he goes down, I mean, the guy is actually his chin has no resistance, and that's how it looks like with the man Anthony Joshua from what I've seen. You know what I mean? When I seen him get dropped by the man Vladimir Klitschko, it was a beautiful straight right hand. You know what I mean? Beautiful 1-2, landed right kind of on the forehead. Anthony Joshua went down like a ton of bricks. Klitschko is in good physique, but he's not muscle bound like that. You could actually still see a little leanness and a boxer physique in Vladimir Klitschko, even though he went down and he has massive chin problems. You know what I mean? But the way he went down versus Anthony Joshua, not one of those punches from Anthony Joshua and Vladimir Klitschko were just a one punch shot, like how Vladimir dropped AJ, I believe, in round five, or was it round six? I think round six, maybe five. You know what I mean? It was just a one punch. Anthony Joshua's accumulation. You know what I mean? It was a combination. So what I'm trying to say is, even though we know Klitschko has massive chin problems, he didn't get dropped with just one punch. I mean, look at round was it 11 when he got caught with that vicious uppercut that stretched his veins out in his neck, and that was actually a mechanism to kind of not really slipping punches, but we could say not slipping punches, but kind of like he kind of seen it coming, and that was a mechanism like to tighten up his jaw and his face, and he got caught with that uppercut, and he still didn't go down. He went down eventually from a few more punches. You know what I mean? But I think Anthony Joshua I'm sorry, Tyson Fury is just a little bit more elusive. You know what I mean? The upper body movement, head movement, the feints. You know what I'm saying? The tricky southpaw and switching up, switching from orthodox to southpaw, switching his stances, being a switch hitter. I think those kind of techniques could confuse the man Anthony Joshua, and just the fact that this guy is a mammoth of a man, and that always concerned me after the first fight with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. It really dawned on me and occurred to me that this guy is really 6'9", 273 pounds. You know what I mean? That's a mammoth of a man. You know what I'm saying? Been watching boxing for a long time. One of the tallest fighters I've ever seen was Nikolai Valiev, and I had never seen him on the canvas. You know what I mean? I've seen him get rocked, hard body by David Hayes still ain't go down. Another tall guy was, can't remember this guy's name. Back when I was a kid, Michael Mora fought this tall dude. This dude was like a 7 footer. But that guy had no chin and he was getting mollywopped and dropped all over the place. So for a guy like Tyson Fury, he has better defense than Valuev or that guy that Michael Mora fought. I can't remember his name, but if you go look at Michael Mora's highlights or watch his fights, you'll see him fighting some big, like this is one of his first few fights in the heavy when he got into the heavyweight division, straight out of light heavyweight, and should see the size difference as far as height with this guy that Michael Mora fought. And that guy just ain't have a chin like that, you know what I mean? So, Andy Ruiz, I'm sorry, Anthony Joshua, I think it'll be a tough task for him to fight a guy who's now bigger than him. And that's to me the problem with what happened with Wilder. I think if this guy Tyson Fury was about 6'6", maybe 6'7", where Wilder doesn't have to punch up and look up to a guy, I think he'd have a better chance of beating Tyson Fury. But now when you're punching up with the guy who can sidestep, move on his fight on his back foot, and could also come forward, that's a recipe for disaster. You know what I mean? I think that Deontay Wilder, not I think, I know he's way more athletic than Anthony Joshua. I've seen Anthony Joshua try dunk a basketball. He has no coordination. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I don't think a guy like Anthony Joshua could play basketball or even football, like American football, like Deontay Wilder has. I've seen Anthony Joshua running track. He might be fast on his feet, especially for a big guy like that. You know what I mean? And he showed some new wrinkles in his game when he fought the man Andy Ruiz fighting off the back foot. You know what I mean? But that's against a very much shorter guy. You know what I mean? You check it, so it actually should be the other way around in reality. Anthony Joshua stalking and applying pressure on Andy Ruiz, but it was the other way around. AJ going backwards, fighting off the back foot, fighting a real defensive type of fight, punch, grab, clinch. You know what I mean? Jab and clinch. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So it should have been the other way around. So I think if it's Tyson Fury, I think Tyson Fury is gonna apply the pressure the same way. You know what I mean? But it's gonna be interesting. I just think Tyson Fury got the skills to pay the bills, and it's gonna show. A guy who's been boxing since he was a kid, as opposed to Anthony Joshua, who started boxing as almost a grown man, like Wilder. Experience and the savviness of a seasoned fighter will eventually prevail. You know what I mean? You check it, it eventually will prevail. Unless Anthony Joshua can work diligently on his inside game and catch Fury with some nice body shots and uppercuts, then he has a very good chance. I think if AJ wants to win that fight, he's gonna have to fight uh, a vicious game on the inside. You know what I mean? Gonna have to win the inside battle. You know what I'm saying? So Amir Khan might have a point, and I agree with him. You know what I'm saying? But let's talk about Carl Froch. You know what I mean? Carl Froch thinks that Tyson Fury is the number one heavyweight on the planet. I'll read you some quotes from what the man had to say. Quote: Tyson Fury. This is Carl Froch speaking, by the way. Quote: Tyson Fury is just in front of Anthony Joshua. Part of my reasoning for this is because he was the lineal champion, beating Vladimir Klitschko a few years ago to become champion and never lost the titles in the ring. He came back. He came back when everybody thought he couldn't beat Wilder, and I thought he won the first fight, even though he got dropped twice. The rematch was one-sided, so conclusive, and I just think you've got to put him at number one above AJ. It's Fury and AJ, one and two, and you think to yourself logically, who wins between AJ and Fury? I think most people the general consensus would be that Fury wins that one. But the one way to end any debate would be to see them share the ring. End quote. So Carl Froch is basically giving his opinion on who he thinks is the number one heavyweight on the planet. And I don't think you can disagree with him, you know what I mean? As far as being the number one lightweight on the planet, I said lightweight, excuse me, heavyweight on the planet, you know? Sure, Anthony Joshua has 3 belts, but who did he beat to achieve them 3 belts? That's the question. Look at who and Tyson Fury beat to win his world titles, dating back from 2015, even when he didn't defend his titles. You know what I mean? He's actually gone the harder path. You know what I mean? And to win world titles. You know what I mean? He's done it very is very calculated with his strategy of how he got these world titles. You know what I mean? Especially when he took a little 2.5 year hiatus. You know what I mean? Some of the best boxers in boxing have done this. You know what I'm saying? Stay out the game, watch other guys do what they do, fight and beat up each other, then come back and steal the lady for the last dance at the ball, Cinderella style. You know what I mean? And that's what this guy has done actually. You know what I mean? You check it. So it's very strategic. You know what I mean? But I think him beating Fury and Fury beating Wilder and Klitschko hold more rank than than Klitschko than AJ beating Charles Martin. Who else did he beat? Joseph Parker. And what other title does he have? WB and winning that vacant title for the WBA title versus Klitschko, who had been out the ring for 18 months. You know what I mean? At 41 years old. So I rate Tyson Fury's ranks or how he became a world champion more than AJ. But then again, look, the triangle theory never always works. You know what I mean? You check it. You know what I'm saying? Joe Frazier beat Muhammad Ali. George Foreman beat Joe Frazier. Muhammad Ali beat George Foreman. You know what I'm saying? Triangle theory doesn't always work. You know what I mean? That's not how you gotta base um, a prediction or think or show why you think fighter A beats fighter B. You know what I mean? You check it. Marco Antonio Barrera beat the shit out of Kennedy McKinley. Junior Jones beat Marco Antonio Barrera twice. Made him quit the first time. You know what I mean? And Kennedy McKinley knocks out Junior Jones. You know what I'm saying? So the triangle theory doesn't always work, man. You know what I mean? Shane Mosley loses to Vernon Forrest twice. You know what I'm saying? Ricardo Mayorga beats Vernon Forrest twice. But Shane Mosley beats Ricardo Mayorga twice. So, just got to pay attention, man. Styles make fights. But if I had to put my money on it, I'd have to agree with Carl Froch and Amir Khan, you know what I mean? And this is way before. Um, Look, I've always thought Tyson Fury is the best skilled heavyweight on the planet ever since he beat Klitschko. If you ask me when Tyson Fury was facing up with Deontay Wilder after Wilder had sparked out Spilka, and when Tyson Fury was calling him bump squad, and the man was bent. You know what I mean? You could tell he was drunk that night on his WWF style. At that time, if you asked me, I was picking Tyson Fury to beat Wilder. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay attention. You know what I'm saying? Tyson Fury had just come from beating Vladimir Klitschko. You know what I mean? I'd seen Deontay Wilder struggle with the likes of Molina and Duhaupas and Spilka up until that point. So at that point, if you ask me who wins between Wilder and Fury, I was picking Fury. But with the hiatus of Fury, the addiction, the obesity, the depression, the alcoholism, everything that went awry with him, of course I was picking the man Deontay Wilder to beat him, you know what I'm saying? Both times. But he didn't get it done. You know what I'm saying? Either time. So gotta give the man Tyson Fury his credit, you know what I mean? You check it. But Carl Froch, some may say Carl Froch and Amir Khan might have an agenda against Anthony Joshua. With Amir Khan at one point in time claiming that Anthony Joshua was smashing his wife. Then he retracted those comments that he made public. So there might be some animosity there between the two. You know what I mean? And or Carl Froch having feeling some kind of way that Anthony Joshua broke his record of 80,000 people at Wembley, and Anthony Joshua did 90,000 people at Wembley. Maybe Carl Froch is in his feelings. You know what I mean? But really and truly, I highly doubt it. And if they are in their feelings about anything of AJ, whether it's AJ smashing Amir Khan's wife or AJ breaking the Wembley record, then that's very petty because both guys have had their time. It's now Anthony Joshua's time, you know what I mean? But we shall see when if this fight does so happen. If it does happen, time will tell. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we're any close to a unification for undisputed any closer than we were when Anthony Joshua and Wilder had the world titles. You know what I mean? So time will tell. We shall see. Let me know in the comment section. B Marsh Boxing. Do you agree with Amir Khan and Carl Froch? I tend to agree with them. I agree with Carl Froch that with Tyson Fury is the number one heavyweight on the planet, two-time lineal champion. Absolutely. And I do agree with Amir Khan that in a fight, if they got in the ring, Tyson Fury wins. Be March Boxing. Leave your thoughts and comments. Let me know if you agree with these two guys. If you disagree, feel free to leave them in the comment. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm gone. Be March Boxing. Peace.